Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are. My name is Andy Weld and I built a $2 million per year exterior cleaning company in 6 years. And I also built a coaching agency that helps exterior cleaners grow their businesses to $1 million and run without you. So I just wanted to make a quick video here about the things that I did to build a $2 million a year company in 6 years. The video is going to be entirely unedited. It's going to be raw. It's going to be shaky. I'm walking down trails behind my home and it's just going to be straight from the heart. So the audio quality is going to be bad. You're going to hear footsteps, but these are the four main things that I did, what I did, and how I did them. In case you are wondering about your journey and you're trying to do the same thing, this is how you do it. And what you have to do and how you do it. So to build a $2 million a year business in the exterior cleaning field in 6 years it's very, very difficult, but it's entirely possible if you do the right things in the right order. And so this is what they are. So the first thing is, you hear it all the time, but you have to have a very, very good routine in the morning. Every morning I wake up and I meditate for 10 minutes. I get clear on the things that I need to do in that day, the 1 or 2 or 3 things I absolutely have to do in that day to move my business ahead. And if I don't do those things, then the business doesn't budge, right? It doesn't move ahead. And so I make myself accountable to do those things. And I cannot finish my workday until I do. Whether that's building employee agreements, new ad build outs, whether it's hiring somebody, whether it's doing a round of interviews, whatever it is, no matter how big or how small, I meditate on that in the morning and I figure out exactly what I need to do that day to move my business every single day forward. Otherwise, you stand still, right? And if you don't do different things, you won't get different outcomes, okay? So that's the first thing. I usually do a little bit of reading, some exercise in the morning as well to get the blood flowing, but for the most part, you really need to get clear every single morning on what you need to do that day that is different, that's going to move your business ahead. So the second thing you have to do, and I should have said this first because it really is the most important, and it falls in line with the first thing, is you got to do the hard things. So that's what you have to do. How do you do the hard things? Well, whenever you do progressional stuff, you need to be willing to do the hard things, but it's very difficult to do hard things. And so every time you do a hard thing, you need to break it down into goals. So I'll give you an example, right? I work with a lot of clients in the beginning stages of their business, the middle and the final stages, people who are doing at least $1 million and anywhere in between. And it can be so difficult to get out there and door knock. It can be so difficult to get out there at the $700,000 a year mark and go and cold door knock on commercial and get more commercial, right? Or it could be so difficult to figure out your taxes, figure out your next service line. But you need to break the goals down into smaller amounts. So when we talk about door knocking specifically, I had a client who had a very, very difficult time going door to door, right? Just didn't want to go out, just didn't want to put themselves out there. And I get it, because I mean, who wants to do cold reach outs, right? So the thing is, when you go door to door, you're going to get rejected 99 times out of 100 in the beginning, maybe even more. My close rate in the beginning was very tough, right? So if you are struggling to go door to door, instead of going door to door, simply just get out there and go for a walk with your brochures and what you need to do to go door to door with your script, okay? If you have a hard time with that, right, then you need to make sure that you get ready to go door to door, but don't even bring your brochures. Instead, just go for a walk. And if you're having a hard time going for a walk, then it's okay, because simply just head to the door, right? You need to figure out the root of the problem. Head to the door, and if you're struggling to even get out the door, go to the door and just tie your laces and sit by the door and make that your new routine. Okay, and if you're struggling to do that, go to the door. If you're struggling to even to put your laces on, for example, to go door knocking, go to the door and just put your Crocs on or some slip-on sandals and just sit there. And if you're struggling to do that, go to the door, sit by the door for 5 minutes every day until you get up that confidence and energy and stamina to put those Crocs on, right? So you don't have to do it all in once. I see this thing with entrepreneurs that everybody has to go all in all at once and get it right the first time. It's not. That's not how you do it, right? Because in life, there are two things that will happen. You are either only ever going to win and get things right, or you're going to fail. And if you win, that's a great thing. And if you fail, that is also a great thing. Because in life, you get to do two things. You get to win or you get to learn. You get to learn what didn't work. So when you fail at something, that is not actually failure. It's a very good thing because you get the opportunity to go through what you just did and you get to make another go of it, but you get to learn from the lessons that you went through. Okay, so for example, let's say we just hired a new manager and we had a 3-month probationary period and we had to let that manager go and spend thousands and thousands, $10,000, right? But let's say we'd never hired that kind of manager. Maybe you hire a new sales manager, right? Or a new production manager or a new general manager. And that person isn't who you wanted. And you spend thousands and thousands of dollars and you let them go. The money and time that you invested and lost is not lost. That's a learning experience. Maybe you spent $5,000 on a new ad. Maybe you invest in a coach who didn't perform well and who didn't help you. Now you have that insight on what you are looking for in that manager or that coach or what to do differently in your ad. So nothing is ever a lose. Everything happens for a reason, right? So number 2 is break your goals down and accept that if you fail, that it was supposed to happen. And it was supposed to happen so that you could learn from that. I'm probably shaking the camera a lot here. But how you do the hard things is going into each and everything knowing that you're going to fail with the opportunity to learn from that, right? And going into those things again and again and again with newfound insight from when you failed to pivot differently. If you're going about doing things and you've been trying for a year, 2 years, 5 years, and it's not working, then you have the lessons and the insights to change what you do. And when you change what you do and you do the difficult thing, you get different results. And if you're having a hard time doing the difficult thing, simply break it down into easier steps. If you can't go door knocking with your brochures, go for a walk with your brochures. Can't go for a walk with your brochures, just go for a walk, right? I'm gonna turn around here. Can't go for a walk with, right? Then go and sit by the door. Tie your laces. If you can't get up the energy to tie your laces, sit there in your Crocs and so on and so forth. And it's the same for everything, right? Nike's logo says just do it, but nobody tells you how hard it is to just do it. So you need to break it down and you need to accept that you're gonna fail, right? And there's a big difference between failing and burnout, right? Burnout is when you push yourself past the point of no return and need to take a break. But even in itself, that is a form of failure and lessons learned. So first thing, develop a good morning routine. Second thing, break your goals down. Oh, that's my Apple Watch going off. Break your goals down and accept that things are going to fail and break because they're supposed to. Step 3, get over the idea of spending money, okay? Human beings naturally have this fight or flight instinct. And when it comes to money, we have this fear of spending money. We have this thing that I like to call is high score disease. And when you have high score disease, that's just a fancy term for going and saying, oh my God, I made 10 grand, I made 20 grand, I made 70 grand, I made 80 grand. I don't want to spend any of it. But the thing is, money is just this tangible object that was invented thousands and thousands of years ago so that we didn't have to trade. Money is a tool of leverage. And as soon as you can really digest that and understand that, then you really start to propel yourself ahead. There's a lot of frogs going off. I'm sorry if you hear that. But for example, I see business owners that will amass 80 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand and not want to spend a dime and just want to do it as cheap as possible, right? But if you're not willing to leverage your money, then how can you possibly get ahead? Because you get ahead based on the expense of your time. And when you're way too busy building your business or working or whatever it is to do everything, you must be willing to invest the money. Invest the money in a good ad agency, right? Invest the money in applicants, hires, so that they can help you to build your business. Invest the money in a good coach so that they can help you to understand where you're going wrong and keep you accountable to moving ahead, right? So you need to understand that money is a tool of leverage, and if you just have a bunch of it just sitting there not using it, your growth is going to be stifled, right? And one day when you get old and you die, because we all do, you're not going to be able to take it with you to the next life. But when I was building my business, I really wanted to get wealthy, and I did. But in the beginning, I learned that it was not about getting rich right there, right? You're not in your business today to get rich tomorrow. You're in your business today to get rich in 5 years. Here's part 2 of my video because I had an alarm that interrupted me and it stopped my video. How rude. But you're not in your business to get rich today or tomorrow. You're in your business to get rich in 5 years. So use money as a tool of leverage and trust that as long as you've done your research, that the money will turn around. But you need to use it to leverage more money to come in and more freedom, right? So that's the third thing. Use money as a tool of leverage. And 4, this kind of falls in line with money, but get a good mentor, get a good coach. It doesn't have to be me. You could find a good coach elsewhere, right? But having a good coach or a mentor who has done what you need to do and who can help you is so extreme. I paid a coach for many years, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I got to where I am. And it costs a lot of money, but look at what happened. We're doing $2 million a year. And so the premise behind that is, once again, I've chosen to leverage money to earn more money. And you'll lose it in the short term. If you look at it as like a line graph or a bar graph or something like that, you'll get a dip, right? Because you lose the money at the beginning, but then it really takes off at the end. But the thing is, you got to do your due diligence on a coach. A good coach doesn't run group meetings, right? The definition of coaching is helping the person find the answers and overcome the problem within. So when you onboard with a coach who's doing a bunch of group meetings and barely any one-on-ones, then your coaching is limited and you can only expect so much, okay? A really good coach will work with you one-on-one like I do. I meet with everybody once a week for at least an hour, if not more, if you need more time, plus text and call, and that's going to help you to get over all the mental hurdles, all right? So, pardon me. So the thing is, when you're building your business, if you get a mentor or a coach or somebody in that position, you're going to have 2 people who are going to be able to help you. And it's going to come down to 2 factors of that. It's going to come down to consulting, which is the next step-by-step of what you have to do. And I can be more than happy to provide you with that. But it's also going to come down to coaching. And coaching and consulting are 2 different things. Coaching is helping you to overcome the things that are within inside you, helping you to overcome that boundary of door knocking or getting commercial leads or hiring your first sales manager, general manager, building out employee agreements, struggling with the things that you do to get done, right? But the most important things that you do to get ahead, right? So there it is. Number 1, what did I say was number 1? Number 1, I'm trying to jog my memory here. I've been chatting for a little while. I might not say it in the right order, but number 1 is you got to know how to do the hard thing. You have to accept pain. And if you cannot do a big goal, break it down into small goals, like just putting your shoes on by the front door. Number 2 is what I just said, leverage your money. Number 3, which is the first thing, is make sure you have a good routine to understand what you have to get ahead. And number 4 is get a mentor or a coach who can work with you one-on-one, like me, to help you with those things that you have to do every single day, right? And don't push yourself to burnout. You don't have to do that. A lot of the weeks in my business, I only worked 5 days a week, and you can do that. It's the definition of working smart and not hard, right? So good morning mindset. Make sure that you know how to do the hard thing, accept the things that go wrong, and simply just break your goals down, use money as leverage, and get a good coach. And if you do that, you'll build more than $1 million a year business in 5 years, 6 years. I did it I did 2 million in 6 years, plus a coaching agency. And it's just how you break it down. So if you have any questions, or if you don't have a coach right now, if you're looking for a coach, even if you have any questions for me and you're not even really in a position to get a coach, but you do want to talk a little bit more, have your questions answered, you're getting stuck in your business, you're trying to figure out what you have to do next, then the next step for you is simply just comment below, or you can send me a message, send me a DM. And walking past people, they're like, here's a guy talking into his phone. Send me a DM. I'm more than happy to help you, right? More than happy to help you. I created my business like all business owners. I created my business to generate profit. But really, truly, if you go into business, you should go into business because you love it. Maybe you don't love window cleaning or you don't love soft washing. Maybe you do. But you can love the aspect of building your business. You can love the aspect of building your systems and building a legacy. And I created my exterior cleaning business because I wanted to get wealthy, and I did. Then I created my coaching business because I found my real passion, my true passion, my purpose here on earth, at least one of them, which is to help exterior cleaners to build their businesses. Because here's the thing, if you are brave enough to start your own business, then you are brave enough to make $1 million, $2 million a year, etc. And I truly believe that. And I'd be more than happy to provide you with any kind of guidance you need. So without further ado, whether it's day or night where you are, I wish you a great day. Hopefully you haven't heard me huffing and buffing too much or too loud of footsteps. And thank you for watching this. If you've still watched it all the way through, I'm Andy Weld, more than happy to help. Just comment below or shoot me a DM.